Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Bubble, starring Karen Gillan, Pedro Pascal, Leslie Mann, Fred Armisen, Keegan Michael Key, David Duchovny, Iris Apatow, Guz Khan, directed by Judd Apatow. Now, before I get into this movie, first of all, I didn't know this was coming out until like maybe a couple weeks before it did come out. So I didn't have time to watch all the other ones, which probably for the best because most of his oeuvre I don't necessarily like. And we'll see if that's true for this movie. And second of all, the fact that it's appearing on Netflix is another bad sign for me, but we'll see how this movie goes. Let's get into it. We open with the first five Cliff Beast movies as somewhere in London. We open with a couple of assistants, one of them being Bulla, but who gives a shit, being told not to be friends with any of the actors as we meet Carol Cobb, played by Karen Gillan, and her agent having lunch as she forced herself in the bubble to work on Cliff Beast 6 as she goes to London for 3 months to film the sequel while in the middle of COVID-19 tests without the vaccine, where they have quarantine for 2 weeks in their hotel rooms. And all this is hitting home rather too soon, I will say. While it's not that funny, and I didn't laugh once at any time in the movie. Carol bumps into Lauren Van Chance, played by Leslie Mann, as we also meet Crystal Chris, played by Iris Apatow, Dieter Bravo, played by Pedro Pascal, Dustin Mulray, played by David Duchovny, Sean Knox, played by Keegan Michael Key, Howie, let me see if I'm saying this right, Frangopoulos, forgive me if I said that wrong, played by Guz Khan, and Carla. And do I like these characters? Absolutely not, as they're annoying as hell, particularly Crystal, who focuses on her TikTok account almost way too much. And I don't have one of those accounts because I always find those to be a little annoying. And the writing is not even good at all. The movie director, Darren Eigen, played by Fred Armisen, is a douchebag as he feels it was it which is a good thing for the character, but his performance did annoy the living fuck out of me. The producer Gavin zooms with Paula, who's played by Kate McKinnon, who's absolutely fucking annoying here as the actress in general, and there's a reason I don't watch Saturday Night Live. Because it's prolonged and the jokes get tiring after a while, and the hotel clerk Anika is flirted by Dieter, and their chemistry is obnoxious as their first 20 minutes is terrible because I cannot stand these fucking characters. Particularly while filming a movie that looks Sharknado awful as far as CGI is concerned, as their green screen filming is fake looking at times. I can't stand it. And as for the jokes, it's not funny, and I again didn't laugh once at all while watching the movie. And again, this is the exact problem I had with other Apatow movies, as this movie is 35 minutes too long. And Judd, for fuck's sakes, edit this movie to death. I mean, Jesus, I almost fell asleep on my first viewing at this point, admittedly, because I was tired, and finished it off the next day. The actors get quarantined again, and after someone making coffee had COVID 19, and they again go crazy while quarantining, which I get. I mean, honestly, it's not fun, and neither is watching this movie twice for this review, as well as any later Judd Apatow movie after The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up. The actors chill and sneak out of their rooms behind the producer's back and either play the piano or having sexual intercourse and talk with one another at night, while the next day, Howie freaks out and quits the dumb sequel as the movies sound dumb like Sharknado while grabbing Dustin in the nuts and squeezing them, and abandons the project to go back home. And the second month comes and Mr. Best puts devices on the actors for security reasons, and that is so the actors can't escape, which is bullshit, which is a bullshit way to make your actors stay on the set. But what the fuck am I talking about? This movie is bullshit to begin with. While while explaining COVID 19 as a joke, which is unfortunately way too soon for my taste, Carol calls her boyfriend Josh on Zoom and has another woman named Monica in her house, which is not a smart choice, while Lauren and Dustin go on a Zoom call with their stepson Raphael, and he sounds like an asshole as well, while none of these characters are not fucking likable at all. Dieter imagines things like his TV as a woman talks with him, and kisses him while having sexual intercourse with Carol, and I thought, what the fuck is this? We move on to another shooting stage where some of the actors are fainting, falling off a fake mountain, and vomit on each other, which is absolutely fucking disgusting. And that scene could have been in the editing room. I mean, Jesus. Carol wants to bail the movie while the others want to stick to finishing the movie, while I'm growing very irritated with the movie at this point, that I may check out of it 20 to 30 minutes later into the movie. They film a scene where Crystal makes a dinosaur dance to music, and I'm thinking, you have got to be shitting me. And again, editing room floor, come on, Judd, get some of this shit out, until one of them comes in and makes Carol piss in her pants, and I feel so bad for Karen Gillan, as she deserves better than this, as the actors have been trapped on the set for 5 months. And this movie is a bunch of bullshit. We learn Dieter is married to 5 different women and has children either in existence and coming with Carol, while Carol doesn't believe her boyfriend isn't dating his new girlfriend and tries to come home with Lauren and tells Dustin she burned his script as well as his computer, and both when she and with Carol try to escape, but Lauren gets her hand shot off by Mr. Best, and Gavin tells Paula that they need to shut down the production and Hollywood is desperate for another Cliff Beasts. And they wrap her scenes and get Steve, the choreographer, played by John Cena, to show up in Zoom to shoot an action scene. And while filming that scene, the actors are being very abused and mistreated, while Carol wants the studio to fuck off, or else she's walking, but unfortunately in her contract, if she bails, she'll pay thousands of dollars for bailing out. And at this point, I want to be done with this movie, as it's still going on too long. Dustin tells Darren he will turn his piece of shit script to gold, Darren says to him, and he's going to stick to the original script that's terrible, because he's the producer, while Carol is pissed off about her grandmother passing away at the age of 97, but the studio is still not letting her leave, and Paula makes the actors dance while some of them are having a hard time, which is an uncomfortable scene. And it should have been in the editing room floor too, I must say. The actors do have an Entertainment Tonight interview and Darren says after they shoot Cliff Beast 6, they're going to start shooting part 7 back to back. And Carol has a meltdown where she just wants to go home, and she tells Sean about she is the worst actress on set, while she confesses he's a fraud, and as he made Steve Frost write a book he also co-wrote. And someone on TikTok wants to cancel Crystal on TikTok, and next thing you know, they're smoking cocaine, and Dieter suddenly dies and barely while filming on TikTok, and they try to get him back alive, and Anika stabs him to get him back alive. All this is stupid as shit. And remind me, how the fuck is this funny? It's not. As Carol makes a speech about their all family and again, trim this shit down, for fuck's sakes. They finished filming the movie with Sharknado-looking special effects, while it looks stupid, and so does stupid, while they shoot the dinosaurs in the nuts and dick, while Sean and Carol and the rest of the cast get the fuck off the set and make a run for it, and Carla punches Crystal, and they have a fight while Carol is chased by James McAvoy, and she injures his ankle. And is any of this funny? Hell to the motherfucking no. While Mr. Best is shot with the arrow by Howie, and the actors try to get on the helicopter, but Darren tries to stop them, while Dustin distracts him and knocks his ass down, and they get on the helicopter, and Anika joins them to escape as Sean tries to get him out of there, as he only knows how to go up and down on the helicopter, and they try to escape, which is getting tedious after a while, and it just takes too long. 2 years later, the cast filmed a documentary that had a premiere about a disastrous of a set this Cliff Beast 6 was, called Beasts of the Bubble, and credits roll with interviews of the actors, and after the credits was pointless, as well as this whole movie was very fucking pointless. Shame on you, Netflix, for making this shit happen. I'll talk about that in my next part. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 1.8 out of 10. This movie is too long, with unlikable characters and an unacceptable plot that was way too soon when they brought up COVID 19 as a joke, and I felt bad for the actors, even Karen Gillan, as they're stuck in this lame ass movie. The movie is not funny as the jokes come too soon, like I said, like this plot, as I wanted out of it after the first hour, and Judd Apatow needs to stop making movies about only one joke for 2 hours. It gets old after a while, and while at the end of the day, it's pointless to watch any more of his work. Netflix, as far as I'm concerned, you guys need to make better movies and not speed it up, get it done right away, and release it right away. Don't do that. Like, no more movies like Red Notice, Spencer Confidential. Both, one of them I reviewed, Spencer Confidential, and I did not like that film, nor did I like Red Notice, because you're better off with TV shows than you are with movies at this point. As I'm waiting for them to make a movie about above the Irishman, which I gave around an 8.0 out of 10 or something like that. I forget, but as I need something higher from you guys than this, which is impossible, sure, but honestly, try something that I might enjoy more than, say, this movie, which sucks big time. Strong, stay the fuck away from this movie. For the love of God, man. If you go to Netflix and see this title, don't watch it. It's stupid. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for returning for Judd Apatow, and until next time, for the love of God, Judd, tone it the fuck down.